Shopify has a new AI assistant called Shopify Sidekick, and it promises to be your Shopify expert that will help grow your business. And Shopify has actually been slowly rolling out this feature, and most stores should now have access. With AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Midjourney, and others becoming essential to our own personal workflow, we have really high hopes for Sidekick and how it could potentially help grow a Shopify store. And its major advantage is that it has access to your entire Shopify store, like your products, orders, customers, and so on. So will it live up to the expectations and be another must-use AI tool in our daily toolkit? Or is it just another AI gimmick that isn't that useful? We have had several members in Stress-Free Scaling who are helping to add an extra 20 orders per day ask us that very question and how to best use Shopify Sidekick. So in this video, we'll be running a number of test prompts to find out. Now, before we start, if you haven't already signed up to our free email newsletter, then consider checking it out. We share strategies for growing your store, getting more customers, and increasing your sales. And on top of that, you get access to all of our custom-made Shopify theme add-ons to boost your conversion rates. So if you're looking to level up in 2025, click the link in the description and sign up. All right, thanks for listening to that. Let's take a look at Shopify Sidekick. Okay, so let's start off by talking a little bit about what Shopify Sidekick can do. And here you can actually see it on our right panel of our demo store. You can actually access it by clicking this little guy here with goggles, and you can open and close it. And, this is where we can start talking to Sidekick and asking it questions. But what can it actually do? So there's actually this Shopify Help Center article about Sidekick, and it talks about its capabilities here. So we've got limitations, we've got capabilities. So on the limitations side, it's saying how Sidekick is primarily for admin actions, right? So it doesn't interface with your customers and won't answer any customer questions or anything like that. It's mostly just for you as a Shopify admin to help manage your store. But there's a few nuances here. One is that it won't make any changes to your store without your approval first. So we'll see that a little bit later. It might tee up some information, but you still have to click save yourself. You still have to apply it yourself. It won't do anything automatically. And secondly, is it won't actually edit any images into your store theme or your product list. So that's just another limitation that's there. But what can it do? So it's got some capabilities here. They've got 5 different categories: help and guidance, content generation, customer segmentation, theme editing, analytics, and reporting. So help and guidance is, we can actually come back here. You can see here, these little icons, those are the 5 categories. So you've got help and guidance, right? So for example, how can I remove the password from my store? And then secondly, it's got content generation. That would be this one here. So it's create a manual product collection for our top reviewed products. It's content generation. Customer segmentation, that's this one right here. So segment subscribers who open emails recently but never purchased. So it can help generate a query to create customer segments. Theme editing. Sidekick can modify theme settings and make recommendations to change the apply to Sidekick to themes must be saved manually by you. Okay, so it can edit themes. You must currently be in the theme editor for Sidekick to make suggestions or changes to a theme. Okay, so we'll try that out. It doesn't really show that here. And then analytics and reporting. So that's this one right here. What's the ratio of new to existing customers for the last year? And then it's got this also, where can I find my chargebacks? So I guess that falls under the help and guidance category because it takes you to a certain menu. So those are examples of these different types of capabilities that it has. And actually, every time you open up Sidekick, it's going to give you some new suggestions. You'll see that in a moment. So why don't we just kind of run through a couple examples of each of these categories, and then we will then look at some more advanced prompts that we came up with, just to see how it handles that. Now, I have played with Sidekick a little bit, but not that much. And so I generated some prompts just for the purposes of filming this video so that we can kind of test out what is it good at, what is it not good at. And then really, I'm just going to react live with you and learn live with you about what Sidekick can and can't do. So why don't we jump into it? So let's start off with the help and guidance side of things. So here's an example. How can I remove the password for my store? So why don't we just click this and see what it does? Okay, so you can set a password for your store on this page. So you click this and it will navigate you to the page where we can set the password. Now this is a development store, so I can't actually remove this, but it just takes you to the menu. If you didn't know where to find it, it takes you right there. Easier to get to than, say, Googling it to find out how. Let's open up a new chat. You can see how everything is different already. What if we said something like, how can I improve my store's SEO? So maybe we want to improve our store SEO. So we ask Sidekick about this. And we're seeing here some generic information. I mean, it's all useful, but it's very generic. So it doesn't really take into account the nuances of your store, but it gives you some general information. And it even links you to some articles that you can read. So, you know, a little bit useful, but doesn't take the nuance of your store. Okay, so why don't we open up a new chat window and look at this navigation thing. So preview my online store. Okay, so let's see what that does. Okay, so it takes you, let's head over to your online store now. Okay, so it just takes you right to the store. We are viewing a development one, so let's close this preview. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, so it takes us to this store here. This is our quote unquote live theme that we have on here. This is a development store, so it's not really complete, but just takes you to the site. Okay, does what it's supposed to do. It kind of navigates you around. What if I wanted to, how can I update my checkout page? So let's try that. Okay, so it gives you a set of instructions on how to update this. It gives you some help articles, giving you information on what you can do. Okay, and a link to take you to the checkout settings. Okay, so I mean that's pretty useful. Again, it's general advice, stuff that you could probably still Google and find on your own, but maybe just saves you a little bit of time and gives you some direct links, so you don't really have to ever leave the Shopify admin interface. So yeah, I still think that's pretty useful. Okay, let's move along. Segment customers who haven't placed their first order yet. Okay, so why don't we click that, see what it does. Okay, so we've got 2 customers who haven't placed an order, so we can preview. And you can see here, okay, it creates a query to segment our customers and generates the information there. So that's pretty interesting, right? It's this part I think I can see actually having some use, because creating these queries is potentially a little bit more difficult. You got to know how to set it up, how to what kind of variables to use, and it kind of generates that for you automatically. So what if we said something like, who are my 5 most high value customers? We can do something like that, and it will create a segment. 0 customers, 0%. Predicted spend tier equals high. Okay, so maybe we don't have anyone in that. So why don't we change this up a little bit? So which 5 customers have spent the most in my store? Zero. Orders placed, some amount at least 1,000. Why is it by? Okay, why don't we do at least 0? Oh, okay. 1. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure why the query was made in that way, but at least it gives you a base that you can edit. So we changed it up a little bit, and now we can see who's spent a little bit more. So you can actually change this value to be, you know, in our case, maybe at least 150, and then we can start to see which customers have spent the most. Yeah, so I'd still think it's useful to help generate these queries. I guess in this case we have to edit it a little bit, but you know, it gives you that baseline to help you get there a little bit quicker. All right, let's look at what else we can do here. Okay, so create a collection for low stock products. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so it creates a low inventory collection. It's got a title, description, collection type, rules, SEO title, SEO description. So we can preview this. Yeah, let's leave the segment. Sidekick ran into an issue. Let's just hit that preview button again. Okay, so maybe it's because that little pop-up menu came up, but you just click it again, it actually generates the information in here, and it creates a collection where the inventory is less than 10. So here, this is also actually quite useful. It sets everything up. It tees up all the information that you need. You can edit it as you like. The purple here indicates that it was generated by AI, I believe. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty good, and we could just save it, and we have our collection now. So here we go. We've got all these products in our collection that meet this criteria, and we now have a low inventory collection. So what if we want to make this live? So how can I show this collection in the main menu? Okay, to add it in, you could follow this. There's a help article, but I guess we can go to content menus, and then yeah, we can go to the main menu, and we can add our clearance, and we can put our low inventory collection in there. Okay, so we've just added a clearance link on our page. If we refresh this, there we go. We've got our new collection added to the store. So yeah, it can help you generate some collections or products. Let's say if we wanted to create a product. So create a new product called the prompted jacket. Okay, so it generates a bunch of information. Let's preview this. Okay, it seems like it's running into an issue again. Let's just click that again. Okay, there we go. It fills it all out. We've got our jacket, fills out some SEO information down here. Just doesn't generate any images, so we'd have to just select that ourselves. We can just save that, and we now have a new product. So that's honestly pretty quick. Generally, there's a few extra clicks that we need to do to create our products, right? It's not difficult, but this does save us a little bit of time. So that's pretty good. Okay, so what else can we do? Let's go back to our area here. Give free shipping to first-time customers. Okay, so this probably generates a discount code. So why don't we take a look at what happens? Okay, so yeah, it's creating a discount code to customers, once per customer true. So let's preview this. All the information is blank. I guess we have to just click it again. Limit to one per customer, no minimum requirements. Type free shipping. Oh, okay, no, I guess it has created it, and we just need to give it a name. So we call this free shipping. Okay, so yeah, I guess this is it. So we've got our free shipping type, discount code free shipping. So that's the code we can give to our customers to get the free shipping discount. And applies to all countries, no minimum requirements, specific customers. I guess we probably want all customers. So in this case, I guess you have to modify it maybe a little bit. But it takes you to the discount window and gives you kind of tees up a little bit of that information to help you get through it. So yeah, still pretty useful. Although I would have preferred that it kind of generated more of this, but I mean, it takes you halfway there, I guess. All right, let's look at what else we can do here. So now let's move on to the analytics. What were our highest 3 sales days last year? So let's take a look at this. Okay, it tells us to go to the reports. No, I want you to give me the actual. Please provide the highest 3 sales day in 2024. Okay, it's starting to act a little bit funny because you can see here it was showing the sales discount popping up and then disappearing. So I think it's kind of remembering maybe some of the free shipping stuff going on there. It's not really behaving the way I expect it to. Maybe there's some weird thing going on with its memory. So why don't I just try to start a new conversation again, and let's try this one again. Let's see if it happens again. Yeah, it's doing this discount thing again. Okay, let me just refresh, because in the help centers here, it does say Sidekick saves your chat during a browser session, but doesn't store your chat history when you close your browser. If you close your browser session, then your chat history with Sidekick resets. So we're not closing the browser here. I'm just refreshing, but hopefully that kind of resets. Hopefully it resets the chat, because I'm expecting it to do something a little bit different here. It's behaving a little bit funny. So let's try this again. So I just copied and pasted it. Yeah, so now it's doing something a little bit different. Let's create a shipping discount for the highest 3 sales. What? Okay, so here is where Sidekick seems to be acting a little bit funny. It somehow is remembering that we were trying to create a discount, and then it deletes it, and then it continues to do supposedly the right thing. It's telling you to go to the reports, but actually when I did a little bit of testing in the past, it would actually figure out what those sales days were and give it to you. So I don't know why it's not doing that right now, but it kind of tells you, okay, just go to the analytics section and you can look at sales over time. Where is it? Sales over time. Sales. There it is. Okay. So we'll just follow these instructions and then set the date range to last year. Sort data by total sales. Okay, well, why don't we just sort by total sales like this? Because we actually really only have 1 day of sales, because I just generated test data for this video, and we don't really have any other test data. So yeah, I mean, here December 30. So it does help you find out what that sales day is. So yeah, I mean, these instructions are technically correct. Let me try a different prompt to see if we can get what I was hoping to get. What was our AOV over the last 30 days compared to last year? I'm gonna do something a little simpler. So what's my December AOV? The reason why I don't think we can do this, or it won't be useful, is because, like I mentioned, our actual sales data that we have here is just these ones here that I just created. And these ones are actually just test orders, so they don't even show up. So here are the orders that we have. It's only 6 or 7 here. So let's just look at the December AOV, and this should hopefully give us a proper answer. Okay, good. So it just gives us the direct answer. So this is what I was kind of looking for, is where it generates some analytical response directly in the chat. It doesn't kind of give you a set of instructions on how to figure it out yourself. It just tells you. And that, to me, I think is the best way for this to happen, is because it gives us the information right off the bat. I don't have to go searching for it. And it just helps us move a little faster to kind of figure out what we want to do. So what happens if we hit see more? Let's see what happens. Generates a report, does a Shopify QL query, shows you how it generates this query and gives you the answer. So I think that's actually pretty cool here, because with the reports, doing these custom reports with, essentially looking through the database and then using a query, you can kind of get a lot of information. But understanding how to create these queries requires, it's kind of like coding, right? It's if you ever use SQL or SQL, then this is sort of what you would have to, this is kind of the syntax that you'd use for that. And I'm guessing that Shopify QL is very similar to that. So we can use Sidekick to help us generate this code to get the answer that we're looking for. So what else can we do here? Let's say, for example, what are my top 5 selling products in 2024? Okay, so it just generates the response directly in the chat. We can get these answers right away. So we can see, hey, these are our best selling products for the year. If we see more, is it going to give us another? Yeah, it gives us another query with and shows us how it's written and shows us the actual results. So that, I think, is quite useful. If you want to get information that you otherwise wouldn't be able to with these standard reports, you can ask Shopify Sidekick to help generate some custom reports to see information that you otherwise wouldn't be able to with what is kind of out of the box here. Okay, the last type of prompt that we can do is these theme edits. So I actually haven't tried that myself yet, so we're gonna learn together about what it can do. So we can apply changes to theme comes to the current publish. These changes must be saved. Search for and apply changes to all Google theme settings. Just click others. Okay, make my store feel more retro. So we could try something like that and see what else we can do inside the theme. So we're going to go into the themes area now. Online store. And let's customize. We'll also start a new chat. So make my store more retro. We can try that. I guess I didn't need a question mark, but let's see what it does. I did put it in there, but it's not showing up yet. So why not make my store more retro? Okay, it's not inputting. Why don't I refresh and try this again? I don't know why it's not taking it. It says I need to be in the theme editor to make suggestions or changes to for Sidekick to make. Okay. Once I close it, it doesn't show up anymore. Is it possible it just doesn't work? All right, let's exit. Make my store more retro. So we'll try it from here. Okay, so it's not really doing that for us. If we go into here, let's try it again. Yeah, I mean, I think what's happening here is it says you can make theme edits, but I mean, unless I'm missing something, I think it's not actually working. So maybe if someone can mention it, let me know in the comments below on whether I'm missing something here, but it just seems like it's not working. So maybe they plan on rolling that out in the future and it just doesn't work right now. But yeah, that's a bit of a letdown. But let's move on. Okay, so those are the basic prompt types or capabilities that we've explored, right? So we've looked at sort of help on those, kind of giving you help articles or help information on what to do and instructions on how to do something, but it's very generic. Then next it kind of navigates you to certain menus so that you can find out where to do things, how to get information. We've created customer segments. We've created and drafted new information like products, discount codes, collections, and then all you have to do is click save to finish it off. And then we've also done some analytics. So we've explored all of those. So now I want to do something a little bit more advanced where I wanted to ask Sidekick to kind of look at some of the nuances of our store and suggest something to do about it, right? So here is the first one I want to try. So review my store's shipping data for the past month. Find customers who made 2 or more purchases, and then draft a personalized email campaign offering them a loyalty discount code. So let's see what happens when we do something more complex like this. Okay, so actually, I don't... I guess we haven't shipped anything. Okay, let's modify this a bit. So review my store's sales data. The past one, 5 customers who spent more than $300, and then draft the personalized. Okay, so let's do something like that because our test data doesn't actually support this one here. Okay, so it generates a sales report for the past month. I mean, this doesn't really give us what we want at all. Okay, maybe we have to break this down into pieces. So, review. Oh, I see. It just took the first part. Review my store's sales data for the past month. And that's all it did. Okay, so why don't we say find customers who spent more than $300. Who spent more than $300. Let's try this. Discard. Preview. Okay, so now it can find customers who've spent over $300. Draft a personalized email campaign. Draft a personalized email campaign to the customers who spent more than $300. Okay. Offering them a loyalty discount code. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so it creates the loyalty discount code, but didn't draft the email, so draft personalized email. Okay, it's telling us how to create an email, but what if I want the actual email contents? Draft the contents of a personalized email campaign that I can use. Okay, so here, after like the third or fourth try, it finally creates something. We notice they've been an amazing supporter of your store name. We can't thank you enough. As a token of appreciation. Yeah, okay. Change the tone to a more fun vibe to a younger audience. Like we're talking to our best friend. Okay, so yeah, so now this is sort of like using ChatGPT in some ways to draft emails, but it seems like it can do this too. It doesn't quite take into account the store information, right? This does seem like something you could just type into ChatGPT and get a similar type of response. What I would have liked is it takes into account the information that we have in our store to generate this email. I don't know exactly how it would change, but I'd like it to actually consider it. And it doesn't seem like it's able to do that. And, we had this prompt here that was a little bit more complex. We asked it to do a few things, right? First, we asked it to look at the sales data, find the customers who spent more than $300, and then create an email with a loyalty discount code. So there's a few steps in there. And just based on what we saw here, we kind of have to do it step by step, one at a time. So you have to break it apart yourself. Doesn't seem like it's smart enough to do a multi-step process. But let's try a different one and see if that happens again. Okay, so here's another one that I want to try. So let's say identify my top 3 best-selling products from the past in December, and create a 600-word SEO optimized blog post that highlights these items. Yeah, let's try that. So again, there's a few different steps here. We'll see what it does. Okay, so let's create a segment for customer who purchased the top 3 highest sales products in December. Please replace the product IDs with the actual IDs of the top 3 highest. So, okay. So this isn't quite what I would have expected, because we're asking it to identify the top 3 best-selling products. And here it's trying to create a customer segment, which is not really what we're looking for at all. So again, it doesn't really hit the mark. do we have to just break this apart again? So we have to say, identify my top 3 best-selling products in December. So I guess we just have to do this on its own. Okay, it's still doing the same thing. Create a segment for customers who purchase the top 3. Yeah, I think this might be something similar to what we saw last time, where it just kind of had this memory of creating. Or remember when we were trying to? I actually can't remember what we were trying to do, but it was trying to create a discount code, even though we weren't asking about discount codes anymore, right? So let me just refresh and see if this helps. No, it's still trying to create a customer segment. Okay, so I don't know why, but it just seems like it's not quite understanding, and it assumes that we already know what the top 3 selling products are, and wants to find the customers that bought those products, but that wasn't what I was asking for at all. So a little disappointed about how it approached this. But I guess if I was looking for a customer segment, it could be useful. But this isn't, it's not quite understanding the question that I've asked it here. So, my conclusion here for these more advanced prompts is it isn't ready for it yet. It doesn't seem to be able to handle it all that well. And even this is a more basic prompt and isn't quite understanding it very well. Okay, so we've tested Shopify Sidekick with a number of different prompts. We've tested with some more basic prompts, looking at the different categories or capabilities, they called them right here, right? The capabilities right here. And they did a adequate job, I would say. And then we tried some more advanced prompts where we would chain a certain number of actions together, where we'd say, hey, look for this type of information. Using that information, do this other thing. And it was not able to do that, right? Like in the first example, we had to separate it and did it one by one. And even then, it just didn't really take the nuanced information of our store, but more just kind of gave us a more general answer in certain cases, except for maybe the analytics part. And then in the second example, it couldn't even do what we were asking it to do. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that. I think Shopify Sidekick has the potential to be an extremely valuable tool because it has access to your store data, right? It knows what your products are. It knows how much you've sold of those products. It knows who you've sold them to. So if you're able to take all of that and use that information to learn about what your customers are doing and suggest what you should do next, I think would be super, super powerful. But unfortunately, it's not doing any of that right now. Now, it is the early stages. At the time of recording this, it's December 31st, so it's just before 2025. And we might see in 6 months a lot of improvement. ChatGPT, for example, when it first came out to just where it is today, has a lot of improvement. So I'm hoping to see some improvements with Shopify Sidekick, but we're taking an early look at it, and there is, a little bit to be desired. Now, if you are a beginner, I think it's still very useful for you. You can use a lot of this sort of help center stuff where it can tell you some basic information about how, concepts that you might need to learn. Or if you're just new to the Shopify platform, it can guide you to the different menus, because there is a lot that Shopify can do. It's really powerful, and it can be a little bit overwhelming with all the different settings. So you can just chat with your AI assistant Sidekick here, and it can guide you to go to the right menu to get you acclimatized to the admin. And once you want to start looking at customer segments or generate reports, it can help you create those for you without you needing to learn how to create those queries yourself, right? You just type into Shopify Sidekick what segment you want or what report you want, and it'll create that code for you to get that data. So that, I think, is also going to be really useful. But, once you kind of want to move past those things and get into more of an intermediate, advanced style of thinking, where you take your existing data and make decisions on top of it, or have Sidekick, the AI, analyze that like a business analyst and suggest the next thing to do. It's not there yet, unfortunately. And so that's my first impressions of Shopify Sidekick so far. It'll probably be very useful for some of you and not so useful for the rest of you. But yeah, that's kind of it for now. As we mentioned previously, if you want help on growing your Shopify store and maybe you define that Shopify Sidekick isn't good enough, then check out our email newsletter. We share lots of great strategies on how to grow your Shopify store, and you'll get access to all of our custom-made theme edits and customizations that can help improve your conversion rates. But that's it for today. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.